Good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:15 or 16 out here in the West Coast. Today I'm going to finish up the last of the 13 principles, starting with Principle 12, and then I'm going to play you the recording of Napoleon Hill himself at the very end of it, giving you the rundown of the last few minutes. So the 12th principle is the brain. If you had access to all the wealth in the world and took a penny, you would be doing exactly what you would very probably have been doing in the use of your brain. Nothing in the world is more pitiful than the misunderstood understanding of the average person than the power of his brain and the minds to which it is connected, the conscious and the subconscious. You own in your brain the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known. Take, for example, the fact the number of lives lines in which connect the brain cells with one another equal the figure I followed by 15 million ciphers. It has been determined that these are from 10 to 14 billion cells in the average human cerebral cortex. It is inconceivable that such a network of intricate machinery should be in existence for the sole purpose of carrying on the physical functions incidental to growth and maintenance of the physical body. All that just to run your body. This is the mechanism that has given us the supersonic airplane, our deep rocket probes in outer space, the sciences, the arts, all that we know that we use today and will use tomorrow have hatched from the small gray mass each of us carries around. Do you, can you doubt even for a moment that it can bring you and yours everything you want on earth? Of course it can. If you will recognize your power or as an individual and stop acting like those who have never even thought about it. Give it the job you have decided you want it to accomplish and watch it handle it. That was the 12th principle. The 13th and final principle is called the sixth sense. The sixth sense can be described as the sense through which infinite intelligence may and will communicate voluntarily without any effort or demands by the individual. This principle is the apex of the philosophy. It can be assimilated, understood only by first mastering the other 12 principles. The sixth sense is that portion of the subconscious mind in which has been referred to as the creative imagination. It has also been referred to as the receiving set through which ideas, plans, and the thoughts flash into the mind. The flashes are sometimes called hunches or inspirations. The sixth sense defies description. It cannot be described to a person who has not mastered the other principles of this philosophy, because such a person has no knowledge or experience to which the sixth sense may be compared. The sixth sense is not something one controls or one can take off and put on at will. The ability to use this great power comes slowly through application of the other principles which we've outlined. Many individuals come into a workable knowledge of the sixth sense even before the age of 40. But more often, the knowledge is not available till one is way past 50, and for the reason that spiritual forces with which the sixth sense is so clearly related do not mature and become usable generally except through the use of meditation or years of meditation, self-examination, and some serious thought. But begin to develop it now by applying the principles we've talked about here. Remember, this man can create nothing which he does not first conceive in the form of an impulse or thought. Makes a lot of sense. Man's thought impulses begin immediately to translate themselves and their physical equivalent, whether these thoughts are voluntary or involuntary. Keep fear out of your mind by concentrating on the mental picture of your goals. your greatest desires. Now want to mention that I want to mention that Think and Grow Rich book carries more endorsements by great men who know of its truth than any other book of its kind ever written. I'll touch on only a few. All of these great men actually endorsed Napoleon Hill's principles. Former President of the U.S., William Howard Taft, F.W. Woolworth, wrote that he had built his great chain of stores by applying many of these principles. And a lot of you guys are probably too young to remember or don't even know any of your history on that, because Woolworth stores were a big deal. They were like Kmart's or Target's are now, or J.C. Penney's. Robert Dollar, who built the great Dollar steamship lines, wrote that if he would have had the philosophy 50 years ago, he supposes he could have accomplished all that he did in less than half that time. I sincerely hope the world will discover and reward you. Samuel Gumpus wrote that most mastery of these principles is the equivalent of an insurance policy against failure. President Woodrow Wilson, John Wanamaker, the Merchant Prince, wrote, I know that your fundamentals are sound because I have been applying them in my business for over 30 years. George Eastman, the world's largest makers of cameras, Thomas Edison, Luther Burbank, Theodore Roosevelt, E.M. Statler, John D. Rockefeller. I think you know that the endorsements of these great men could not have been bought with all the money in the world. What we have been talking about here can change your life and bring you anything and everything worthwhile you want in life for yourself and your family. Cut yourself away from the average, from the mediocre, and chart your course on the dream in your heart. These 13 principles will never let you down as long as you use them. Now, It is with great pleasure that I give you the author himself, Napoleon Hill.
Thank you, Earl Nightengale. The message which you who are listening have just heard has brought you within 3 short steps of the supreme secret of success. The same secret which has brought happiness, peace of mind, and financial success to countless thousands of people who have read Think and Grow Rich. The same secret which has made master salesmen out of ordinary order takers. And the same secret which has brought friendship, love, and marriage to men and women who have come under the spell of the 13 principles which Earl Nightengale has just described. You desire the better things of life, or you wouldn't be listening to this record. Come with me then, and I will help you chart your course, so you may acquire whatever it is that you desire most in life by following these instructions. 1. Condition your own subconscious mind to work for you while you sleep as well as when you are awake. You can do this by playing this record to yourself every night, just before you retire. Then, before you go to sleep, after hearing the record, write out a clear statement of what you wish to accomplish the following day, and request your subconscious mind to work during the night and provide you with the plan you will need to achieve your purpose. 2. Form a personal mastermind group of 2 or more people who are closely associated with you. They can be members of your family, your business, or your professional associates, or people who work where you are employed. And play this record in their presence at least once a week. After you have done this, engage in a friendly roundtable discussion of the 13 success principles and request each person in the group to participate and to look for inspirational ideas which may help him or her to become more successful. 3. Beginning now, follow the habit of rendering more service and better service than that which is expected of you, and do it in a pleasing, positive mental attitude. This will make friends for you, it will increase the value of your services, and it will attract opportunities by which you may get from life whatever it is that you most desire. Follow these instructions to the letter, and you will surely see the day when you can express a prayer of gratitude for having had the privilege of hearing and acting on the message which Earl Nightengale has given you through this record. And now, may I reach out across the space and the time which separate us and offer you a hand of friendship and a sincere prayer that you will be blessed with a richer and a fuller life because of this message. Your big opportunity may be right where you are now. Follow these instructions faithfully, and it will reveal itself to you. This is Napoleon Hill saying, don't search for opportunity in the distance, but recognize it and embrace it right where you are.
Okay, guys, I hope you got something out of these videos. Tomorrow I'm going to be going on through the challenge, the success challenge. This was session 2.2, and I'm going to go and find some other pertinent content. Like somebody said in the forum that they think that you should go through each of these about 26 times to really thoroughly learn them. So I figured the only way I was going to be able to do that was to actually write this stuff down. So I write everything down. So that's why it was so rehearsed, I guess, because I know you guys can tell I'm reading off my notebook. But anyway, that's all for today, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you sometime tomorrow. Alrighty? Peace. Later.